Hello and welcome everyone. Today I am going to be doing, let me see if I can get my reference picture up. Let's hope it's the right one. Yes, there we go. So this is the reference picture that I'm going to be using, and it's going to be mixed media. So I'm going to be using some Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens. I've also got some Ecoline brush pens. And this one is a Faber-Castell sketch marker. What else have we got here? I have got a couple, no, just one, Caran d'Ache pencil. And then I have got a few Neo colours. So I'll shout out what I'm using as I use it. And I've had a go at doing this 2 or 3 times already on little bits of paper. So yeah, as you can see, they've all turned out slightly differently. So I'm not sure how today's will turn out, but I think all in all, they've all come out fairly well. So popping them aside, I have got some A4 paper here. I'm a bit on the wonk, aren't I? There we go. And what I've done very lightly is just sketch out the main tree and the posts, the little posts, and I've kind of blocked off where the layers are, I suppose. But I'm probably going to be going all the way over the top of that in any case. It's just so I've got a rough idea. Now, if you want to join in with me and use your supplies, you can obviously, because this is recorded, you can just pause, find what it is that you want, and then carry on. So let us get started. And I'm going to start with the blue sky, and I am using a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen. It's the soft brush, and this is the light indigo. But obviously you can find, you know, things that are right for you. You don't have to use what I'm using, and I'm not worrying about the fact that I'm going over where my tree is, because I can still see through this. So I'm just going to get in the blue sky roughly, and I'm not bothered about getting a neat edge at the bottom. So I'm just getting some of that in. Okay, so we've got a bit of sky, but we might need to go down a bit lower, mightn't we? Let's go down a bit lower looking at that photo. So we'll go down a bit lower in places. And in a way, this is like the watercolour underpainting, I suppose. Then what I'm going to do next is the far distant trees. And because everything that's in the distance is kind of bluey grey, usually, or that's what we want to do to make it feel like it's in the distance. Yeah, I'm going to use this one. So let's get our next layer in. This is not going to look like anything much for a while. And I'm sure you're all thinking to me, what on earth are you doing, Michelle? Get some taller ones in. But it will be fine in the end. So I'm basically just blocking in these far distant trees, and I'm just blocking in colours to represent at the moment, and I will refine in a bit. So that was, what colour was that? Cold Grey number 3, and that's the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen brush as well. Now the next bit that we have is those kind of I think you call them reeds, I'm not really sure what they're called. I'm going to use Pink Beige number 374 in the Ecoline brush pen for this next section, just to get that blocked in. And so that's going to be where those go. And then in front of that we have got green grass. So I'm going to use, what colour is this? Bronze Green Ecoline brush pen 657. So we're going to get that green area in. And I am just going to avoid where my little posts are and where my tree trunk is. Let's just go around them a bit. And then we can get this green grass area in. So there's nothing too complicated here really. We're just colouring in blocks of colour. There we go. So now we've got that green grass area. And then what we've got is this hedge that's been made with all of those branches. And I'm going to pick, this is called Sepia 416 Ecoline brush pen. So I'm going to pick that colour, and I am going to have to ignore my fence posts, but I might still be able to see them underneath. And I'm just going to do some wiggly, squiggly lines here. Like so. And they kind of go into the grass then again. And we can add to this to build up our fencing in a bit, but at least now we know where that's going to be. And then we've got greenery at the front again. So let's get some of this green back in here. I'm using the same, what colour was this? Bronze green. Make sure I've gone up to the edge. Like so. So now what we've got is our colours kind of blocked in. So let's go back up here because this should now be dry. and we want to emphasize that these are trees a little bit more. So I wonder if I use this warm grey number 5, and we can maybe get some tree shapes going in here. And I'm going to try not to do them all completely straight, and I want some to kind of poke up into the blue of the sky. So you can see I'm not being terribly precious. Let's not be precious, it's just not worth it. I'm just getting these kind of shapes in. So there we go, we've got some more shapes in there. Get that lid back on. So that was that one. And then we have got some greenery showing through, and it's quite a bright green coming through those back trees there. And I'm using this colour called Chinese Green in this Neo Colour 2. Don't know if these have numbers. Don't think they do. Anyway, and I'm going to then smudge this green in here, and I'm even going to go up into the sky a little bit because I want to show that we've got some greenery here, because that bright green does kind of stand out a lot. So we can get that in. And I'm not doing anything in particular here. I'm just kind of pressing and making a few marks and a few dots. So that we've got that bright green showing through our trees. Okay, next we've got these wavy reed type things. So I think I'm going to use this. This is called Golden Ochre Neo Colour 2, and I'm going to get some of these reeds in like so. So you can see that's kind of what I'm doing. And they're kind of waving around, aren't they? I'm just avoiding that bit because that's where my big trunk of my tree goes up. So we've got some of that in there. And maybe we'll also use Apricot, Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen brush in Apricot number 116. Do we get some? Yeah, it just gives a little bit more of a apricot-y glow to it, because they are kind of glowing in the background there. Okay, and then we've got like these little pink bits that are waving about. Let me just see if I can. I'll make that a little bit bigger. You might be able to see that better. Right, so I'm going to use this, what is this? Salmon in the Neocolor 2. Doesn't have to be Neocolor 2. You could use Neocolor 1 or something else. You don't have to use what I'm using. And I just want to get those dots of those bits that are kind of flying at the top there. So if I bring that up, you can see I've just added those pink bits at the top there. I think next I want to get to my tree in. So this is Sepia Deep in the Eco line, number 440. So my tree comes out of this fencing. And because this is a lovely dark colour, it will go over the top of everything else. So can I see my branches anymore? Probably not. We'll make a hazard a guess. And we'll have that one coming across like that. And then it goes up again. And then we've got another one coming out there. And we've got one coming out there. We've got that kind of a shape, haven't we? And then we need some branches, because this is more towards the front than those other things that are more in the background. We can just go over the top of everything. Like so. So now our tree is in its place. We can refine all of these. I think I also want to... Now then, what colour shall we use for these? Fence posts, I suppose you'd call them. Oh, and I haven't got those other trees in. Right. Okay. I think I'm going to go back to my grey for those other trees because they are further in the distance. In fact, because they're not, well, they're closer than the far trees. So I'm going to go for warm grey 5 and use this brush pen part. And these are at the base of this green area. I don't know whether this is going to go over the top, but we will see. Oh, I don't know. That kind of works. Okay, and then we want another one in here. And we've got a third one. We can go like that for interest. Like so. So we've got those 3 trees there that are kind of in the distance. And we've got them in place. Now for this. Let's initially... Should we use this apricot? No. Why don't I use this umber, Neocolor 2 umber? Let's try you and get these fence posts in. So then we need this those are the two ones at the back. We've got one here. Now, do they come up? That meets the top. So I'm going to need to kind of go like so. Try and even that out a bit more. Okay, and then we've got the one over here, and that pokes up a little bit. So let's get you in. There we go. We've got those fence posts in now with the umber. Okay, what do we still need? I need to sort this fencing out a bit better. That's not looking right. I think I need several different browns in there. What is this? This is just called brown in Neocolor. So let's do some more of our wiggly lines and get some more texture in there. Just kind of doing wave shapes, I suppose. So I'm building it up a little bit. And I wonder whether to use just a little bit of water with that. Let's find a brush, everyone. There we go. That will do. Because the Neocolors obviously will, well, the Neocolor 2s are water soluble. So I can just, I don't want to lose all of the texture, but I just want to block it in a little bit better. And that seems to be working quite nicely, I think. And I need to get a lighter colour in there, but I'll need this to dry first. So yeah, let's just block that in. And I think that is starting to look a little bit better. Let's leave my water over there for the minute. Okay, now then, let's use, for these three distant trees, this is called Silver Grey. I just want to give these a little bit more kind of texture and definition. There, I think that's better. They've got some texture on them. And how dry is that? It's not too bad. I think I'm going to use a combination of the Chinese green and the silver grey, because there is texture on this big tree at the front here. So does my, oh yes it does. Okay, so we can get some of that kind of green in there, and I might get my paintbrush out on that in a minute. And maybe we'll get a bit of the silver in there as well. Okay. Oh, outside my window I have a blackbird feeding from my bird feeder. How lovely. Right, let's just blend that a little bit more. Let's a bit too wet. We just want something going on. I'm not happy with that. We might have to leave that to dry and do something else a bit more. Right, I want to tidy this green up, and at the moment it just looks like one big blobby bit of green. So let's try using my Caran d'Ache. This is called Olive Yellow number 15. And I'm just going to put like a grassy edge here. But that's not quite dark enough, is it? Let's find, oh, hold on. What did I get out? Olive in the Caran d'Ache. Let's try you instead. Because we kind of want to ground those trees as well. So I'm just getting a little bit of an edge going, and then I just want to get some, so I'm going more on the side of my Caran d'Ache Neo Colour 2, and I'm just getting some other little textures and grasses in there. There, I'm not sure that you can see that. Oh, now you can. There, if I bring it up higher. So it's not just plain, it's got something else going on there. Okay, and we also need to do something down here to give it a little bit more, so we can have some grasses coming up here, I think. And especially around the bottom of these, because there may be a bit of shadow or something going on. So that it's not just we could even give the impression of these nettles that are right at the bottom here. Like so. And we've got some more leafy things going on over here. So we can just, it's just an impression of, it's not. So if I bring that up, you can see I'm not actually drawing leaves or nettles. I'm just giving it a little bit of a shape that helps us to think that that's what it is. Now I want to get a lighter colour in here, into this fence. I don't know whether this is going to be the right colour or not. Do I want this colour? Do I want to go more? Well, let's try it over here in a corner to get some, just to get some light in, really. These lighter ones. I'm sure this isn't what I used before. As I said, that's the whole thing with it, really. Each time I've done it, it's turned out slightly different. But yeah, I think that's giving an impression of. Perhaps we'll have a a slightly lighter side on these fence posts as well, like so. Right, now I need to do something with my tree. I'm not happy with my tree. Right, shall we go back to this May green? Maybe I haven't even used May green yet. Is that going to show up? Nope, that's not showing up, folks. Right, I want to get some green in that tree. So, what else could I use? What colour is this? Chromium oxide green. 212. Are you going to show up? Well, you kind of. Probably a bit better than... There we go. Definitely getting some of that green in now, so that it's not just all one colour. But I'm still not liking it too much. Maybe I'm going to have to go with this just to get some... So when I said go with this, sorry, it's the silver grey again. And yes, I think that's starting to give some sort of texture and shape to our tree a bit more, like so. Okay, what am I missing? We've got this thing growing out, haven't we? What shall we use for that? Shall we use the umber, maybe? Let's see if we can get this kind of thing that's growing out of the ground. And we need to ground that somehow, so I'll just add a little bit of that. I like that effect. Let's add a bit more of that. Yeah, I like that. That's doing something nice. Okay. Well, I think those flowers need to be, or whatever they are, feathery bits on those reeds need to be darker. What colour is this? Cornelian 850 luminance pencil. Let's... add some of that in. That's not showing up terribly well on my... I wonder if that helps. Oh, I think you can see that a little bit better now. I mean, these are in the background anyway, so but I just felt that they needed a little bit of something else. I don't know why I kept my face on the screen, because you don't really need to see me. Right. I just think that that has made those stand out a little bit more. I don't want them standing out too much because they are in the background, but I'm quite liking my trees in the background, and I'm quite liking how the grass and the greenery came out at the bottom here. Like in fact, it's not turned out too bad. It's not the same as any of these, really. It's they're all slightly different, aren't they, as you can see. And obviously this one is bigger on the A4 watercolor paper. So let's I stuck that to one of these cutting mats, by the way. So let's undo our tape, our masking tape. Oh, okay. Not sure which way around this goes, but we'll just there. Oh, sticky, sticky. And there's the other one. Let's find another end. There we go. And then our final side. Let's move my cutting mat out of the way. Let's put those on my little tray. So there we have a mixed media picture. In fact, if I will lose this picture on here. If I can find my mouse. Where has my mouse gone? Okay, there we go. Let's move that out of the way. And let's move me out of the way. Oops. And then, there you go, you get a better idea. There is the photo, reference photo, and there is my interpretation using Neocolor 2s, some watercolor brush pens, and a few luminance pencils as well. And I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. I hope you have a go. Just, you know, doing your layers and pause it where you need to. But yes, I think that came out quite nicely. So I hope you all have a lovely morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are in the world. I hope you've got better weather than the drizzly rain that I have today. But plenty of birdies outside, and I'm just going to be doing quite a few videos and getting them scheduled to go out to you. I've got some new Derwent watercolor paint set. So not the Inktense paints. This is Derwent's watercolor paints. I'm going to be doing a video on those shortly, and plenty of other stuff. So keep a lookout and stay healthy, stay calm, and hopefully I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.